All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how the Christians are wrong, right? How Christianity is wrong in regards to the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And I've heard them say several different things when it comes to these curses. For example, one thing I've heard them say is that everybody matches the curses. Like you can try and point out several people that match the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, which is a lie, because the Bible clearly says that the curses were going to be upon the Israelites. So whoever those curses match the most, whoever those curses would match the most from Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that would mean that those are the people that are the Israelites, man. But because they know that we're saying that we're the Israelites, they have to then lie about the curses. Because if we was to say that the curses are upon those fake people that are calling themselves that, they wouldn't have a problem with that. They wouldn't have a problem, man. And you'll notice that they never say anything about how they talk in regards to them saying that they're the chosen. They ain't got a problem with them thinking that they're better than everybody else. But they've got a problem with us thinking that we're better than everybody else, man. And there's two particular people on the earth that was going to think that they was better than everybody else, right? Because they both had a blessing that spoke of similar things, man. Spoke of receiving the fatness of the earth. And that's Jacob and Esau, the Edomites and the Israelites. But one nation of people is going to receive the fatness of the earth through following Yahweh's laws, right? And receiving blessings. And the other son was going to receive the fatness of the earth through the sword, man, right? He was promised to receive the fatness of the earth through the sword. And his kingdom was going to be for a short time. But the kingdom of the Israelites was going to be forever. Because that's Yahweh Shai's kingdom ultimately. And the rest of the Israelites are going to be joint heirs. But now, less of me talking. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which are commanded this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Whereas now one of the lies that Christianity tries to teach is that in order for these curses to come upon the Israelites, they had to agree to them, right? But the Israelites already agreed to the covenant on Mount Sinai, right? They already agreed to it. So once they agreed, they didn't have to say anything else after that. They'd already agreed, man. They'd already said, yeah. This is Exodus chapter 24 and verse 4. And Moses wrote all the words of Yahweh and rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. And Moses took the blood of, and Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled it on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and said, and he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that Yahweh have said, we will do and be obedient. So that was the agreement right there. After that was said, they didn't need to be no more, oh, I want to try and renew my contract. No, once we said that, it was sealed, man. It was going to be given to us. We didn't have a choice after that, right? Which ultimately, we didn't have a choice anyway, because man does not have free will. Despite what people want to try and say, man does not have free will. And the proof in that is the fact that the word predestination is written in the Bible. It's literally in there. Verse 8. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which Yahweh have made with you concerning all these words. So once that was done, what else can you say, man? Right? But people are trying to say that, oh, the Israelites had to continually keep on agreeing. That's stupid, man. That's stupid. But when you're desperate, right? When you're desperate and you haven't really read the Bible, but now you're trying to just argue with what other people are saying from in the Bible without reading what they're saying, right? You're not reading what they're saying to you to see if it's true or not. You're just saying, nah, that ain't true because you're saying it. Nah, it's not true because you're saying it. But you haven't actually read it to see if it is true, which it is. And here's the thing when it comes to these curses of the Bible anyway. I've never heard anybody apart from Hebrew Israelites speak on these things, man. I've never seen a Christian do a breakdown of those curses and say, who do those curses fit? I've never seen them do that. I've never seen them do that, man. And that's what it is with this world anyway. Everybody's got a big mouth to say what it ain't. But nobody's got a mouth to really say what it is, though. This is Deuteronomy chapter 9 and verse 9. Keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them, that ye may prosper in all that ye do. Ye stand this day, all of you, before Yahweh your power, your captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, with all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger in thy camp, from the hewer of the wood unto the drawer of thy water, that thou shouldest enter into the covenant with Yahweh thy power, and his oath which Yahweh thy power maketh with thee this day, that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a God, as he have said unto thee, and as he have sworn unto thy fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because you know that some people are trying to say, see, there were strangers in there. Everyone's fathers ain't Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. Right? That excludes definitely the Edomites, because their forefathers not Jacob, is it? And it definitely excludes the Ishmaelites, because their forefathers not Isaac, is it? And it definitely excludes everyone that doesn't come through Abraham. And then definitely excludes everyone that also doesn't come through Abraham and Isaac. And definitely excludes everybody that doesn't come through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Or we could just say Jacob, because if you don't come from Jacob, then you definitely don't come through Isaac. And you definitely don't come through Abraham's lineage. Verse 14. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him that standeth here with us this day before Yahweh our power, and also with him that is not here with us this day. So who's that talking about? That's talking about the Israelites that ain't even born yet, man. That'll be talking about the Israelites that wasn't even born yet. They weren't even around yet, man. Us, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are alive right now today, bogged out in the land of America, trying to say that they ain't under curses. And he even goes into that. In fact, I remember that. Let me read this. Verse 18, Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 18. In fact, let me read it from 16. Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 16. For ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by, and ye have seen their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them, lest there should be any among you, man or woman or family or tribe, whose heart turneth away this day from Yahweh our power, to go and serve the gods of these nations, lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall or wormwood, and it come to pass when he heareth the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, right? Saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart, to add drunkenness to first. And that's what a lot of these Israelites try and say. You had this guy, Charleston White, he was saying, so you're trying to tell me I'm under a curse from something that happened 2,000 years ago. Well, really, nah. You're under a curse that from something that happened even more thousands of years ago than that, man. Because Moses was on the earth before Yahweh Shai. You're under that covenant was made before Yahweh Shai walked the earth, right? And it was made even stronger that you Israelites was cursed once Yahweh Shai came to the earth and you didn't believe in him, because he became a curse for us. So if you don't believe in him, when it goes down in this kingdom, you're gonna get it, man. Whether you believe it or not, whether you say that you're gonna bless yourself in your own heart and say you shall have peace, even though you're walking in the imagination of your own heart, and then you're adding drunkenness to your first, man. You're just bogged out. Now, let me get this, because people try and say the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, is not a prophecy. Well, let's see if that's true, man. Right? Because what people don't know that read the Bible, these Christians, their doctrine is so lame, man. It's unbelievable, man. Like, instead of them just always talking about what we do all the time, how about they read the same verses that we read, and without trying to say anything about us, yeah? How about they just explain what it is? Because they should have already had an explanation of these scriptures before the Hebrew Israelites started even reading the Bible and bringing out what it really says. They should have already had an explanation. But what we're finding out is that when you bring out certain books in front of a Christian, they didn't even know it was in there. They didn't even know that book exists. So if you say to them the book of Obadiah, they'll be like, what? Or if you say to them, who was Esau? They'll be like, what? Who? What? That was Jacob's nephew, weren't they? They ain't going to know. They ain't going to know who it is, man. And why is that? Because they didn't really care about what was in the Bible anyway. And now they're all of a sudden starting to read it because we read it. For the last, let's say, 50 years, man, now all of a sudden they want to read it, man. And now all of a sudden they're reading certain things in there. And then now they're trying to have to make things up on the spot and just try and say the complete opposite of what Israelites say, man. But because they really know that it's the truth. They really know that what it says in the Bible that we're saying it says in there is in there. But they just don't want it to be true in terms of us being the people that are going to receive these amazing things, or us be the people that are going to receive revenge. Because if it's not true for us and we ain't the Israelites, well then whoever the Israelites are, it's true for them, right? If the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are not the Israelites, if the 12 tribe sign is really false and that was just made by men, it didn't have nothing to do with the Spirit of the Lord, that thing came to be. Even though when you look at all the people that are on the 12 tribe sign and you look at ancient history and see whether people questioned if these people were Israelites, for example, the Native Americans, people was always been questioning whether they was Israelites. The Aztecs, people have been saying about them. The Negroes, Latinos, the Negroes, people have been saying about them. I saw something on the internet a couple of days ago, in fact, that they said from the 1700s that they found that there was people speaking a broken form of Hebrew in Jamaica and Cuba, man. So what are these people talking about, man? What are they talking about? Because if it's not true for us and we ain't the Israelites, well, whoever the Israelites are, it's true for them. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all nations, whither Yahweh thy power have driven thee. So what's that saying? It's saying that you're going to go through the blessings and you're going to go through the curse. It doesn't say anywhere in there, but if you disagree to have the curses or the blessings, then it's not going to happen to you. That's stupid. Because that would mean that the curses was on an individual Israelite basis. Because this is the new lie that these Christians have tried to come up with, that you had to agree for that, to have the curses on you continually. That's stupid. That don't make any sense, man. Because that would mean that one Israelite could say, yeah, I'm going to agree to have the curses put on me. And another Israelite could say, nah, I don't agree. So then that would mean that when the slavery comes for them sinning, that one Israelite is going to get taken away into captivity, but the other Israelite's going to just be there cool, chilling. Saying, see, I told you shouldn't have agreed to those curses, brother. That's stupid, man. The curses was going to happen regardless, man. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1, and it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all nations with Yahweh thy power have driven thee, which means that Yahweh wanted us to go through the blessings and the curses, right? And at the end of that, this is what was going to happen. And thou shalt return unto Yahweh thy power, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I commanded this day, thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul. So that's the valley of the dry bones waking up, man. Those valley of dry bones that was in America first, that was going to be risen up. And then the spirit of Yahweh was going to come out of that place, Babylon the Great, and spread onto other men, right? And through that, it was going to be like a great tree getting all the branches attached back to it, man. Right? An olive tree, if you will. Getting all the branches back and grafting in any branches that was wild so that they can receive of the natural branch, man. And so that they can be part of the righteous branch that's attached to Yahweh Shai. Verse 3, that then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and return and gather thee from all nations whither Yahweh thy power have scattered thee. So he was going to gather every single Israelite that had been scattered in different places among the heathen. Among the heathen. And here's the thing that these Christians are bugged out with, man. They'll say that there's people from every single nation that are going to be believers, right? And we'll say that there's Israelites in all nations, and those are going to be the real believers, and they're going to look like all different types of people, and they're displeased with that even. They can't even fall back and be like, you know what, that's all right, yeah. But then they'll say, nah, that ain't true. It's the salvation is not only for Israelites in all nations, right? That are going to look like everybody else. They'll say, nah, that ain't true. But then the people that are going to receive salvation in these other nations, they're spiritual Israel. That's why they're receiving. They're really an Ishmaelite, but he's spiritually Israel. Huh? That don't make no sense whatsoever, man. That's stupid. How about he's really an Israelite? Why a person that's a believer in another nation is going to receive salvation? Because he's really an Israelite, joining back onto his heritage, and that the blood that Yahweh Shai said have only come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel happens to be the same lineage group that he's part of. How about that? But they're not pleased with that because they know that they're Edomites, most of these Christians, man. And the ones that follow them that are our people, they're they're spiritually Esau. I'm only joking with I'm only joking with that, man. But they are of their father the devil, man. Like the scriptures say. Because you can't change your spirit, man. That's stupid, man. You can't change your spirit to another nationality. That's stupid. That's dumb, man. If you're not Israelite, you ain't getting this. As the scriptures say, Hebrews 8 and 10, the new covenant is only for the Israelites, man. Jeremiah 31 and 31, the new covenant is only for the Israelites. And even this, what I'm reading, is going into the new covenant. And this is only for Israelites. Verse 4, if any of thine be driven out to the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will Yahweh thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And Yahweh thy power will bring thee into a land which thy fathers have possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers. And Yahweh thy power will circumcise thine heart, and the heart of thy seed. That's the covenant. Now, since people are saying that you have to agree, do these seed have to agree then? Does the seed have to say, do you want to receive the blessings and get everlasting life? Because they're saying that you have to agree to have the curses. You have to agree to get the blessings then. Does a little child have to say, you know what? Let me agree to have these blessings and receive everlasting life. Do they have to say that? No, they don't, man. But Christianity is just a false doctrine full of gullible fools, man, that don't want to read the Bible for themselves. So they just believe whatever they're told. Whereas no Hebrew Israelite just does that. When our teachers tell us things, we read it and see what it says, man. And then we even grow in it and can add extra things onto that to bring out the truth of that even more, man. That's what our true Bible believer is supposed to do. Doesn't the Bible say, seek out the scriptures for you see that you shall have everlasting life? Roughly paraphrasing it. Verse 6, and Yahweh thy power will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed, to love Yahweh thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. Now listen to this. Verse 7, and Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Now does it say anywhere in there, but if the heathen should say, no, we do not wish to receive the curse, we would rather receive the blessing, that then I will change my mind and have no, it don't say that, does it? It says that the curses are going on them. Whether they like it or not, man, they're getting cursed. For they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. On art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it, man. You're getting cursed, whether you like it or not. Right? And I'm going to end the lesson there, man. The curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, was a prophecy, right? It had to come to pass. Doesn't it say that here? Verse 1, and it shall come to pass, meaning it has to happen, so that it doesn't happen anymore. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.